All right, are we ready? Lights, camera, action. Hey, I just want to show you a couple of dramas servicing this Hilux here, right? A couple of little dramas, no big. The biggest drama is those, see that thing right in the middle of the picture there, that ARB. I've said it before, you know, whinging, complaining, there you go. Lights, camera, action. The ARB light, really good. This one here, right? See, look, terrible, isn't it? But that one there, that bash plate, not so good. Kaon.com.au for your underbody protection. A few reasons. Now, these, as much as they look pretty good, whatever, they're only 3mm. When you hit a rock, they're going to bend. It's not going to look so good then, and they're going to be more difficult to remove and refit when you do. In my opinion and experience, using vehicles off-road a lot and in the workshop, I can tell you want at least a 4mm for anything that's actually going to get bashed, bash plate, you know, what's between the, front tyres there on an IFS vehicle, you want a 4mm plate there, see, 4mm. I don't even have a problem with that. See those yellow things up there? There, ARB, nitro charger, the struts, we'll get to those. But the bash plates I do, often the holes to drain the oil don't line up. So what's happening here right now is, one problem with the system is the bolts that have been put back in the bash plate are sort of slightly rounded and over tightened and all that sort of thing, because someone's probably zipped them in with a rattle gun, or I don't know what's going on really, to be honest. The plate is sort of half hanging there because the bolt over that side, there's a nut behind there. It's a nut and bolt system, and you can't get to the nut, or it's either you can't get to, or it's super difficult. So what we've done is just loosened that one off and just swung the plate around to save difficulties putting it back on. But it'll still be difficult because they've got those captive nuts as well, that as soon as there's a bit of dirt in there, the bolt gets caught up in the thread and they spin and go, and it's just a drama. We like, so I suppose the most important tip at the start of this video is, if you're going to bring your vehicle to the Prada hospital and you haven't got decent quality bash plates, or even if you've got quality bash plates, if you want to save yourself some money, take the bash plates off for us. And if you've got these, expect extra charges, expect to bring something on top of that slab of Heineken, because at the end of the day, the amount of time it takes just to remove and refit bash plates sometimes can be as much as the rest of the service. Now, that's probably exaggerating, but it can be really time consuming. And so the reason I'm doing this is not to whinge and complain. I'm not really complaining as much as I'm trying to warn you. See, look, it says on the front of it, right up there, it says warning. See that yellow part? Warning. I'm warning you. Get the Kaon.com.au underbody protection, not the ARB one, because it's 4mm. It's strong. It's a quality design. There's no bolts hanging out the bottom. Everything's really well thought out, and you know what? It's just going to get better. So, warning: get the right plates. The other warning is, if you want to save a few bucks, take the bash plates off for us. You don't have to. You know what I mean? Some people aren't. Some people are happy to get on the tools and do stuff like that and save a few bucks. If that's you, then go ahead. If you're way too busy and you've got way too much money and you're happy to just pay the extra $100, whatever it is, for all the time to R&R the bash plates, then that's it. But just, this is kind of like, be warned. I'm giving you the information. Rather be upfront and let you know what the complications are. And that's why when you say, oh, how much is a service? It's not $89, it's not $129. This is a four-wheel drive, it's covered in dirt. You want a specialist to look at it. Someone that looks at these every day, that knows exactly what to look for, that's going to tell you the honest truth on what it needs and not tell you something that it doesn't need. That's what you're going to get. It takes time to do that, and that's what you're going to pay for. But if we've got to spend time mucking around with bash plates, bada bing, that's why the price varies. If it comes in and it's all easy, whatever, then it's a bit cheaper. If it's a pain, it's a bit dearer. So you're not going to get a service. Look, to give you a price guide on one of these inspections, an inspection is anything from about $250 to $330. We spend up to an hour and a half. That's checking the vehicle diagnostic side of things, right? The whole vehicle check. Under the vehicle, bumper to bumper, under the bonnet, not so much in the car, and on the diagnostic to see what's happening with the injectors depending on the age and the condition. So there's variables with that. Up to about $330. Obviously, you need to add your oil filter, lubrication on top of that, so it can add another couple $100. So you're not going to get a service here for less than about $400 to $500 as your minimum, right? Again, all these variables. It is what it is, though. I'm happy for you to change your own oil, do your own services if that's what you want to do. I'm not trying to sell you to come here for a service. I'm trying to tell you what it's going to be if you do come here, and how you can avoid some of these pitfalls, because these bash plates, let's just pretend for a moment they're cheaper than Kaon, and you went, oh, These looked all right, and I got them because they were cheaper. You know, I saved $100. You didn't save $100 because first service, it's going to cost you $100, right? And the next service and the next service. So the Kaon plates are actually free if you're going to bring it to us. And you know what? It's going to be free for you too, because the amount of headaches it saves you from having strong 4mm steel, right? That when it hits a rock, of course you can bend anything, but I can tell you now, we do a lot of off-road. We've been using these plates for years, even other brands of 4mm. 4mm is far superior and so much stronger than 3mm. And when you've got a quality design that's got the correct type of supports designed and engineered to be strong, mate, on our 120, I have hit that bash plate a few bang. I've gone, whoa, there's got to be a dent in that now. There's not a dent. There's some really bad scrape marks in it and whatever, but there's no like dents as in perforation. The plate is not bent. And like I said, I'm sure you could, but it's not. Now, let's get under this thing and have a look around and see what we can find at about 140,000 Ks that needs to be looked at, and the sort of maintenance you should be looking for if you're servicing your own vehicle, or even if you're taking it to someone for an oil change and you know they probably don't know the cars that well. We'll show you the sort of things you're looking at 140K. So I just want to be clear, you know, there's lots of little extras on jobs, and you know, that slab of Heineken over there, I reckon we can see one on the shelf just over there in the background, you know, if we just go like that. Anyway, slab of beer.
Oh, I wouldn't even bother for a slab of beer, mate.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you're not going to muck around with these on and off for a slab of beer. It's going to be extra charges, but it's going to make the charges better. So look, we totally agreed. Now this one here, it looks like there's a water pump leaking. Now I have not looked under this vehicle, so I'm doing this inspection with you. I've got to tell you, I had a quick look under the bonnet. I haven't done a full inspection. We may need to go up there afterwards. But I remember seeing some coolant on the timing cover, on the coolant switch, on the plug. Did you see it as well? Did you see coolant over that side? Yeah, I'll come around. So you can see coolant stains on the crank. That is the crankshaft sensor right there, sort of. I'll try and get in the middle of the picture. I can't even see what I'm doing here. And it's not focusing in the right spot. We need to go like that. That'll work it out for you. There, see? Yeah. Skills. Anyway, and then on the bottom of that zip tie there, see that, right? Over the other side there, maybe. I'm not sure. Bit hard to see. Over there, I don't. We'll get round that side, but see that colour, that white, pinky sort of stuff? That is your coolant, which will be normally coming from what you can see. Let's have a look up here, right? Here we go. I'll get the light in there, and then I'll get the light if I can first, and then I'll do the focus thing. There we go. So in the bottom of the timing cover, you've got the pink drip. You can see the corrosion around the bolt head, and the one down the bottom here on the one outside the pump there. And you can probably see, if I have a look, I'm just trying to show, I'm doing the inspection with you. I haven't pre-checked it. This is live inspections, right? So that you know, bada bing, this is what we're looking at. So I'm just looking around, my eyes are going crazy, right? The sump's dry, that's good. Other than the oil that leaks off from, yes, that messy oil change from these messy, it's in the bash plate, right? So it's just it's a bit of a mess, but that we all clean that up. We clean that all up, not we all clean that up. We clean that all up, part of the service. You can see the drive shafts, the CVs, whatever you want to call it, axles, all good. The OME looks like it's done some work. I can't see any issues with it. Let's have a look down, see what these bushes, if we can see anything in there. Right, they look pretty good. I can't actually see what I'm looking at there, so you can actually see more than me. I've got to refer back to the video. I've got to refer back to the video to be able to, you know, have a look and see what's going on there. So let me know if there's something. You can let me know in the comments. I'm just having a look around. So suspension's dry. There's no issues here, no sweats, nothing. Look at that rack boot, the usual. See what we see. There's a Hilux with a bit of sweat on the boot. Not worried. You got to be. That's what I'm saying. If you go somewhere else, they might say, "Oh, you've got a, you need a new steering rack or something like that." You know, so it's going to cost you money. You got to be careful where you go for a lot of reasons. The things that don't get done and the things that do get done. There's that bash plate. See what I'm talking about? The access to that nut in there, right? It's bloody right in there. You can't get your finger in there. It's it's difficult, right? I don't want to do difficult. Too hard, mate. Do you want to do difficult?
Nope.
What about for a slab?
Nope.
That's it. See, so we don't even want it for a slab. So you're probably best to take your bash plate off. This side, you can get to. You can see the, you can see where the nut sits, right, and it grips up. That's cool, right? No big deal there. This side, same thing. Let's have a look at there it is. like mirror image of that little bit of oil on the rack. I don't see any other issues there worth talking about. Obviously after the video we're going to grab a few things. But did you happen to check these front wheel bearings? Any play in them?
No play.
No play. What about the rear ones?
Same, no play.
Same, no play. There you go. So I'm cheating now. Right, turbo's dry. Everything here dry, no oil leaks. We'll get over that side in a minute. Bit of grease off the drive shaft only, that's all. Gearbox, so obviously it's a manual. It'll be the 5-speed R151 or whatever it is, unless they change it, I don't know. I don't look at all the numbers. I don't work on them. I don't see any problems with them. I don't do clutches. We've got workshop partners who do clutches. If you need a clutch on the east or the west side of Melbourne, let me know in a text message and I'll hook you up. We've lubed up the drive shaft. You can see the slave cylinder there. It's all good, no leaks. You can have a look under that boot there. Right underneath that boot, check there's no fluid, but I don't think there's going to be anything there. Just check the level. If the level's not down, then it hasn't gone anywhere. If it's gone down, then you need to look and see where it's disappeared to. Right, we're just having a bit of a look. It looks like it's had some lubrication over the years. That's good, that's what we want. OME at the back. I'd say it's done a lot of road grime and not outback tracks by the look of it, because you can see it's just that grime colour without the rock spray and the rust, which is what you normally get. Apparently the rear shoes are still okay. They've been checked, not by me. Again, I cheated and asked the question. No leaks at the Nitro Charger Sport. You can get those from ARB if you want, I don't mind. There you go, right. They look good. Everything else looks good. I can't see anything else that's any leaks or deterioration. So what did I miss? The brakes are all right. Let's go and have a look at the pads. Let's go and have a look at the brake pads. Oh, they're like new. Someone's replaced those recently, or someone really knows how to drive. Yep, heaps of meat at both sides. We already looked at this side. We were going to go around this side, weren't we, right? Yeah. Oh yeah, the front diff plug, see that? Alright, so someone's either hit that with a hammer and bent it, or try to reuse the washer. Once you hit them, you've wrecked them. Right? You don't hit it with a hammer. So I see this a lot, people on Facebook going, just give it a good smack. You know, give it a good smack, and what that does, it bends the bottom part here, right? That part there, it kind of like bends it in, and there's more pressure at the bottom and less at the top. And look, it just leaks, right? And then you can see the copper washer where the leak is because it's black where the leak is. So new plug, new washer please, right? Now, if you don't over tighten these, we talked about in other videos, so a little bonus for people that hung around for the information. They're meant to be about 65 Newton meters, I think, from memory. Just hit them at about 60 or 70. I don't care. It's not whether it's 55, 65 or 75 that matters. It's all the ones that are 100 and 150. It's too tight. Stop yanking on these things, right? The top one we don't normally see issues with. It's just they're hard to get to because of the chassis, the way the diff is in there. So again, bit of a pain when it comes to changing it. I can't see anything else under here. We've got some oil obviously to clean up from this oil change and these bash plates to muck around with, you know what I mean? They're painful ones a little bit, you know. Am I complaining? Yeah, well, I'm not complaining. I'm just trying to, you can have whatever you want, but just don't bring it here, I suppose we're trying to say, or expect to pay for it, pay the damages. Anyway, underneath this vehicle looks really good. Hey mate, did you see anything else when you had a quick look under here?
No, nothing.
So I haven't missed anything either. All right, let's have a quick look around under the bonnet and we'll see what we can see. There's a brand new tyre here. What size is that? 265, 75, 16. No good to me. I was thinking about switching out with an old one that I've got there. No, just joking. Anyway, all right, we're going to get under the bonnet, have a look at this one. So you sit tight, we'll have a look. If you need to go, just give us the like button, subscribe, turn the bell on, and you can get out of here. If you want to see under the bonnet, we're going to be there shortly. Up under the bonnet here, yeah, a little bit of water's gone under the bridge since the last part of the video, so I don't know what we're up to and what we're going to have a look at. I think we're going to look at if the water pump was leaking actually, and there was a telltale sign here, and that is, look at that, coolant bottle is low, right down to the low line. So that's what's going on there. And remember I said I did notice up top here, first thing you see the white line here on the wires, okay, across here on the, you know what I'm talking about, on the coolant temperature sensor plug there. And of course, that's the water pump. You can look down, if you look right in the middle of the picture, if you've got an eye that's better than mine, I can probably zoom it in or something like that anyway, but down there, you might see that pink, right? You see that pink bit? See the pink bits? Yeah. Anyway, as long as you can see, then you know what's going on. So up under the bonnet here, it's only done 140k. I've said this before, water pumps. Look, this one is about 8 years old, and that's why we do the BFE with a water pump, because you're doing the timing belt at 150, and that's what will happen on this vehicle. We'll probably do the BFE on it. The timing belt's coming off, so even if this didn't leak now, it could leak at 160, 70, 80, 200, 200, whatever. The timing belt's not getting done again until 300,000. The water pump probably isn't going to last that long. Water pumps leak on all vehicles, right? So the best thing we can do to make it easy is do the water pump while it's off and convert it over to the two-piece pump, not the poo-piece pump, the two-piece pump, so that, you know, if it ever does leak again before the next 150, it's just easy access down there at those bolts, right? Rather than the whole timing belt. The compressor here, everything like that's got to come off. Explained it a number of times. A lot of people are getting sick of that, so we'll move on from that. Up here, as I said, it was quite difficult. We did the EGR clean, all that sort of related work, and we've put it back the way it was because we weren't instructed to do otherwise. But I'm just going to let you know that, yeah, you know, it is quite difficult to get down, as mentioned maybe in another video, to get down there to the oil filter. You can't reach past these hoses. I don't know what it looks like in the picture, but if you've got really small arms and hands, you might reach down there. But if you're strong enough, that's one thing. Access, right? Look, it's not too bad overall. I like the corrugated split tubing. I like the heat shrink, whatever. Let's see how tight these are. Yeah, they're not bad, right? That's all right. The battery, that's cool, although it's a cranking battery, I'm pretty sure, without looking into too much detail. That is a cranking battery, not a deep cycle, but it doesn't matter, you know, it's a cheaper option. You should get one of those for under a couple $100. This is what needs to happen, right? Corrugated split tubing, right, and the heat shrink all the way to the end, and this is, I like this part about it, right? So this is the good part. I don't want to be just hanging on. What's not good, like I said, we talked about the clamps in another video. It was on another topic, I think. I can't remember, to be honest, but it's this vehicle. Bada bing, wiring, not too bad, just way too, the wiring's actually good, okay? But there's way too much going on around here for servicing, if you know what I mean. And the joiner, it's probably not a big, again, if you reach down, you're going to scrape, you can easily scrape yourself on these sharp, that's nasty, that one. Anyway, I'm out of here. That's a video. You know how it works. Please give us the thumbs up, subscribe, turn the bell on. Catch you on the next one, guys. Have a good one. See ya.